Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Kol Haloyam, Adonawa Yahweh, Bashim Shamalak Yahushai, Bashim Rakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone, peace and salutations to so hopeful elect. Habayashah Malak Dawadah, the house of King David, into the fusion of faces that look like these heathen nations, but their identity goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the royal holy chosen sea line. Shalom. Okay. And this lesson is gonna be about, you know, these wicked pastors nowadays that they're not some of them are not donating to this coronavirus relief, and I'm just gonna basically get in on them because they still out here trying to make a hustle out of the people, and they're not even giving money to the people that have donated money to them and to the ministry, you know, which they're not really even teaching the truth. But it's like it's still kind of like fucked up if you think about it, that people are spending all their money, their hard-earned money that they've made in their job, and some people have to pay their bills and they have to pay their their loans and stuff like that, etc. And it's like these fucking these false preachers over here making the hustle and making the money out of their own people. It says black pastors among wealthy preachers accused of not donating to coronavirus relief. And I'll bring out a few scriptures. I don't know to you, Akim and Akwafiyam will be edified. Religious leaders are questioned on their pandemic assistance. This ugly bastard. Creflo Dollar. It says, according to a message posted on the World Changes Church Instagram account on Thursday, the religious group has donated 10,000 masks and gloves to the Albany Hospital in New York. Other COVID-19 relief materials were also donated to an unidentified nursing home, including coloring pencils, greeting and Easter cards, snack bags, and gospel and sermon CDs. It was previously unclear if Creflo Dollar, the pastor behind World Changes Fellowship Churches or World Changer Fellowship Churches, has donated to the coronavirus relief efforts. And mind you, this is the same man that wanted you to donate to his $60 million I think it was a jet or a yacht or some shit. But yeah. So and this man is already a millionaire, so it's like, and he still wants more money out of the people. And it says, original story: by Wednesday morning, the name Credulous Dollar was trending on Twitter due to one user accusing a list of wealthy pastors of not donating to coronavirus relief efforts. The accusations were tweeted by Stone Cold 2050, who boasts 102,000 followers on social media platform. In their tweet, they listed pastors like Kenneth Copeland, Pat Robertson, and Joel Osteen along with their net worth and accused them of donating $0 to COVID-19 assistance. Among the listed names was Bishop T.D. Jakes, who leads the Potter House Church Church Anchor in Dallas. The name Credulous Dollar was also a part of the list, which is assumably a jab at Creflo Dollar. The pastor behind World Changers Fellowship Churches, their anchor church, is located in Atlanta, Georgia, but other church campuses are located all across the U.S., including New York, Ohio, Texas, and North Carolina. All these fucking churches, and look how much money they're making, and they can't even donate to the people. And those three on the top listed as Kenneth and Pat and Joel Osteen, yeah, those guys are just Edomites, so they're already done, And it says, like, here are the richest pastors in America: Kenneth Copeland, Pat Robertson, Benny Hinn, Joel Osteen, Credulous Dollar, Rick Warren, Franklin Graham, T.D. Jakes, and Joyce Meyer. Their net worth in total is $1.6 billion. Total donated to COVID-19 assistance, $0.00. People immediately made note of the same change, and Credulous Dollar started trending on Twitter. If you send money to a nigga named Credulous Dollar, You asking to get scammed, one user wrote. Judge's dollar has me crying, tweeted another user. The net worth of each pastor has been reported by sites like cheatsheet.com, BeliefNet. Jakes has amassed his wealth simply from his megachurch. However, the minister has released best-selling books such as Reposition Yourself and He Motions, and he's also produced movies, many of them which are based on his books, like 2004's Woman Thou Art Loose, starring Kimberly Elise. Creflo Dollar is arguably more notorious with his earning, considering he's made multiple headlines for questionable dealings and for preaching a gospel of wealth. His assets serve as proof to the wealth he's amassed. The minister has been known to own a private jet, a Rolls Royce, and $1 million mansion and apartment. And then he was asking for a fucking private yacht. Ain't that something? Let me see. It says back in 2007, U.S. Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa led a probe into Dollar's financial dealings as a ranking member of the Senate Finance. Dollar contested the probe and was non-cooperative, leading to the conclusion of the investigation. Oh, and Salaki, it was about a private jet that he asked for 65 million. Yeah, my fault. Yeah, it says right here. Dollar also faced scrutiny in 2015 when he started a fund drive seeking $300 donations from 20,000 people in order to buy a 65 million Gulfstream G650 jet that will comfortably seat 18 people. When Dollar received backlash for the fundraiser, he responded in a sermon saying, "If I want to believe God for a $65 million plane, you cannot stop me. You cannot stop me from from dreaming. I'm gonna dream until Jesus comes." And who they ignorantly call Jesus, his name is Yasharahla, and he's gonna ultimately destroy them. Okay. It says right here, Creflo Dollar sets up Cash App account to collect tithes during coronavirus quarantine. And let this sink in your head. So now you see how this bastard doesn't want to give this greedy pork chop pastor pork chop crab eating bastard shaven beard bastard pastor doesn't want to even give to the community, and doesn't even want to give to his own people, but he want to ask his own people for the money and got the nerve to not want to donate back to the community. You see, this is what I'm talking about these pastors. you know The ongoing coronavirus outbreak has paralyzed almost every activity in the world. People can no longer buy and sell as they used to do. Investors are crying over subsidized in trade in the global stocks market. Even worse, people can no longer gather in churches to worship their maker. They're not really even worshiping, because when you go into those horror houses, the Most High said in Acts 7:48 and Acts 17 and verse 23, he does not dwell in temples made with hands. So we don't know how long it's gonna be like this, but things worsen every other day. The rising death tolls in different parts of the world will tear your heart into pieces, if not to grip you into fear of death. But does it mean religious leaders have to forget about offerings and tithes for a while? Well, for some maybe yes, but for others, it's just not going to happen. Somehow people have to abide by the laws of the Bible, giving 10% of what you earn. Therefore, some pastors still need to get their congregation to pay tithes, even when everyone is under quarantine. Pastor Creflo Dollar is one such a leader who won't let the coronavirus outbreak keep tithes away from his church. While church attendance is expected to go down due to quarantines, Dollar wants to ensure all his congregants pay their tithes from wherever they are. Pastor set up a Cash App account to collect tithes from his congregation during coronavirus quarantine. According to Pastor Dollar, tithes are still due and must be paid by all the congregants. All they need to do is create a Cash App account and wire money to dollar bill, y'all. And even the name is just like the Cash App name. This man is a fucking demon. He says nobody uses the deadly virus as an excuse for not paying tithes. Paying tithes is a requirement for every congregant. If they can't still afford to pay bills, then why shouldn't they pay tithes? And how the fuck you gonna be able to afford to pay bills in a time like where a lot of people and this unemployment rate is skyrocketing, and you got like over 6 million people unemployed, and now you got more people losing their jobs more than ever. So, and it says, I understand the concerns over coronavirus, but those concerns should not interfere with the tithing so I can afford to pay my bills on mansion fleet of luxury cars and private jet. If I'm struggling, nobody get into heaven. So pay your tithes so I can properly shine while spreading the gospel, Pastor Creflo Dollar said. You see this motherfucker? So he could afford to pay his bills on his mansion and fleet of luxury cars and private jet. You see the follow these fucking harlot house teachers. This is what they do. It says we are yet to see how his congregants respond to this, but as you can see, he's very serious about it. It's interesting that um that Pastor Creflo wants people to pay tithes so that he can lead a luxurious life. People are already leading miserable lives because of the virus, and it's heartless to squeeze more from their pockets. So yeah, and this is the type of pastors that that be teaching our people. And it says in the scriptures how the Most High didn't send them. Let me get that out. Now, Jeremiah 14:14, it says, Then the Lord said unto me, The prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination, and a thing of naught, and deceit of their heart. You see? And that's what these fucking pastors be doing. They you know, they're not even really pastors, because the definition of a pastor is to lead the sheep to the is leading the sheep in the covenant of the Most High, to lead the sheep to the truth. And a lot of these false preachers, they don't do that. They lead the sheep they lead the flock to slaughter, and the Most High has judgment for them. Most High didn't send them. They claim that they talk to the Most High. They claim they hear the voice of the Most High. Man, you're only just listening. If they're even listening to them, if they even saying that they're hearing something calling their name or telling them to do this and that, it's a lying spirit behind that, according to First Kings, chapter 22, verse 20. It's a lying spirit that is really in these false preachers, and that has them to preach all these lies. All they teach you is nothing about prosperity and how to prosper in this country. This country is already fallen, man. You know, everybody want to try to get rich and stuff like that, and that's what these pastors always be teaching in their congregation. Prosperity is mostly for the next side, but in the kingdom that's yet to come. But and it says right here in Jeremiah 14:15, Therefore thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets I prophesied in my name, and I sent them not. Yet they say, Sword and famine shall not be in this land. By sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed. And you see, this is what they do. They will claim that all this there's videos of them claiming that about that coronavirus will go away, you know, and then you even got Tyler Perry and them singing, well, he's not a pastor, but I'm just saying, like, example, they got them singing that the Most High got the world in his hands, and they're thinking that, like, all the stuff is going to go away. No, the Most High is going to destroy this earth. He got the world in the hands of his destruction. And if anything, he's using Esau to do this, to push most of the destruction as well, you know, because Esau sees the prophecies are hitting, like Elder Apostle Tahar said, this is the year of prophecy, 2020. So Esau's causing the destruction of his own country. And it says, And the people to whom they prophesy shall be cast out in the streets of Jerusalem because of the famine and the sword, and they shall have none to bury them, their wives, nor their sons, nor their daughters, for I will pour the wickedness upon them. And yeah, that's going to, a lot of our people that want to still listen to these harlot house pastors that still want to go to these harlot houses, yeah, the Most High is gonna send a sword, and that sword is talking about the spirit of vengeance, like the teeth of wild beasts. He's even gonna send Esau as a sword to the military troops to come shooting down people left and right and blowing up people. You already see that they ordered like I think over five. I don't know. I think it was 500,000 or 5,000 grenades or some shit. Yeah, because they're getting prepared because they know people are gonna start rioting because of this coronavirus lockdown. And yeah, and these pastors are really, and even 2/3 of our people gonna really start going to their congregations to start breaking down their through their doors and shit like that. They're gonna come after these all these celebrities and these pastors that they've been donating their money to, and knowing damn well that these people don't give two fucks about you, that they only want your money and that's it. And it says Isaiah 56:10, his watchmen are blind, they are all ignorant, they are all dumb dogs, they cannot bark, sleep lying down, loving to slumber. Yeah, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, every one for his gain, from his quarter. So yeah, and that's something that these these false preachers are. They're dumb dogs. They're blind. You know, that's what the Most High is talking about. It's talking about these false preachers, because the only real watchmen don't are the GMS, like brothers from GMS. And you even got the false Israelite camps that like IUIC, ISUBK, that are the same as the as these other false preachers that are just dumb dogs, and they're blind, spiritually. And because it's like they're not teaching the right doctrines, and they're teaching that you could get vaccinated and that you could get the chip. And they're leading a lot of our people astray. And it's worse if you're a false Israelite camp, because now you're an Israelite and you're supposed to know like the full truth, but you over here selling out to a 501c3 contract, which is sticking your head further up Esau's ass. Um, you know, according to his system. But there's gonna be a lot of judgment, coming to these leaders. You already had the ICGS, um that leader, his name was Tazadakia. He was some leader of some Israelite camp, and he died and they said his death was of the coronavirus, and it happened on April 1st. So that's pretty much like, that's too bad for him, because he acted like he was the Holy Spirit and stuff like that. But you know, teaching nothing but folliness, and you see the Most High said judgment begins within His people, and it starts at the people that understand this truth, and that sell out or whatever. Well, it starts within his people in general, but you know, he's mostly gonna come after the leaders, and you know, yeah, it's not gonna be a nice thing when he brings his judgment. Hope I made that lesson edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praises, honor to Adonai Yahweh, Bashim Shalom Malak Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone, peace, salutations to the whole full elect. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Shalak Rayam Adawam Yam, Wa Abad Babal, Shalom.